In answering this question, one of the first things we need to do is make a distinction between, if I can call it, being down and what we might call a technical description of depression. We all get down sometimes. We all have discouraging seasons in our lives. But when we talk really about depression, we're talking about a medical condition where someone becomes almost immobilized by the severity of their despondency. And there are certainly people, many people, who have a particular vulnerability to that level of immobilizing kind of discouragement. That depression really needs to be treated medically. It may be helped also by being by a person going to get counseling or therapy of some sort. So we need to recognize there's a huge difference between what we all get from time to time, huge bouts of discouragement, from what we might call technically depression. So how do we reconcile depression with this whole idea that we're being commanded in Scripture to rejoice in the Lord and to be marked by the joy of the Lord? How can that be? And the Bible does clearly, 1 Thessalonians 5 tells us to rejoice always in the Lord. Nehemiah talks about the joy of the Lord being his strength in Nehemiah 8. How do we kind of put these things together, depression with this idea of the joy of the Lord? And first of all, I think we need to make a distinction between happiness and joy. Happiness is really about the roller coaster ride of our circumstances, and we all go through difficult days when things don't go right and we experience broken expectations, and our happiness fluctuates depending on our circumstances. But joy is something deeper, and it's based on something deeper. It's really, according to the Bible, based on what God gives us in our salvation through faith in Jesus Christ. And that's something that cannot be taken away from us. It's an amazing thing that we have this rock solid forever relationship with God. And when the Bible calls us to rejoice, it's really calling us to live out of the context of that relationship, and that even though life may be sometimes a roller coaster, in truth, I can always rejoice because nothing can separate me from God's love in Jesus Christ. And I am safe, and I can rest in that and even find great peace and joy in that, knowing that God is with me no matter what happens in my life.